All right, good evening, everybody. I forgot to do day 3 last night. Uh, my brother So Loyal took care of day 3, so now I'm gonna go ahead and read you day 4. It's an Avengers story. It says "Shielding from Danger" Part 1, and it shows the Winter Soldier on the cover, Sergeant Bucky Barnes. Okay. So, Avengers Shielding from Danger Part 1. The Winter Soldier's boots slipped just a little as they slushed into the wet snow on the rooftop. He adjusted his balance but didn't slow down. He was on patrol and was determined to find something interesting to do with his night. As he leapt to the neighboring roof of a warehouse, he heard a buzzing in his ear. "Bucky, you there?" It was Captain America's voice. So here's Bucky slushing through the snow. More like rooftops, but I mean, the rooftops, I guess, are snowy too, so. "Hey, Cap," answered Winter Soldier. He rolled as he landed on the warehouse's roof. "GPS has you near the Manhattan Bridge," Captain America said over the Avengers' comm device in Winter Soldier's ear. "I always love it when you keep tabs on me," Winter Soldier said sarcastically. He and Captain America had been partners years ago, back when Winter Soldier was just a kid called Bucky Barnes. Now that he had grown up, Bucky couldn't resist giving his mentor a hard time now and again. Cap didn't take the bait. Instead, he simply said, "There's a situation." "You're about a block away from an inactive, top-secret SHIELD base," Captain America continued. "There's been a break-in." "Address?" Winter Soldier asked. Bucky didn't mind taking orders as long as they were from Captain America. "Underground at the corner of Morris and 2nd. The facility has been made to look like a standard construction site," said Cap. "Wow," Bucky said as he reached the site. He was impressed. "Now that's a disguise." Bucky would never guess there was more to this building than steel beams and an elevator. The alarms went off on the sub-basement too. "They've been using the lab there to store a miniature force field projector. I've just learned that Taskmaster's trying to get his hands on it. I'm on my way, but it'll take me a few minutes," said Cap. Ooh, Cap is on his way, all right. On his motorcycle. He's rolling. "Take your time," Winter Soldier whispered so he wouldn't be overheard. "I've been looking for some action tonight anyway." Winter Soldier turned the volume on his comm unit down low. Then he held his breath for a second. He listened to his surroundings and scanned the high floor of the building with a few cautious glances. Then he moved carefully toward the elevator. He placed the palm of his metal hand against a display panel by the elevator doors. The screen flashed red. Bucky's fingers flexed. A pulse shot from his hand. The screen turned green. Winter Soldier smiled. His metal arm had saved the day so many times on his missions. Tonight was proving to be no exception. After a moment or two, the elevator doors opened with a ding. Suddenly, a laser blast struck Winter Soldier. Luckily for Bucky, it barely grazed his metal arm. In front of him, 2 spinning drones shot off more laser blasts. Winter Soldier jumped into the air. His fingers found the beam above him, and he swung himself up. The drones hummed as they followed. The illustration definitely doesn't show him jumping up to a beam, but it looks cool. As the first drone shot up toward him, sending a laser blast that narrowly missed his head, Bucky pounced and grabbed the drone tightly with both hands. His weight instantly pulled the drone down, crashing it into its companion and knocking it out of the air. Bucky swung toward the nearest beam. He took the drone with him and smashed it into a nearby support pillar. Sparks shot everywhere. Bucky examined what little of the drone he still held in his hand. This wasn't SHIELD technology. This belonged to someone else. Bum, bum, bum. I wonder what it belongs to. My guess is on Hydra. Suddenly, laughter echoed from inside the elevator shaft. Sounds like an invitation, Winter Soldier muttered to himself. He stepped into the waiting elevator, then pressed the button marked Sub-Basement 2. The elevator suddenly lurched. Then it lurched again. Winter Soldier understood what was happening right away. The elevator cables were snapping one by one. Someone had damaged them. He quickly tossed a small capsule up toward the ceiling of the elevator, shielding his face as the capsule exploded. Bucky leaped from the newly formed hole above him, just as the platform gave way beneath his feet. So this is him getting into the elevator. And this is him getting out. The elevator plummeted right past Bucky's intended floor and crashed on Sub-Basement 3. The force of the explosion shook the elevator shaft. Above the wreckage, a figure hovered on a circular glider. The man's laughter filled the metal corridor. His helmet lit the room with its fluttering flame. Jack-o'-lantern! He was having a great night. His trap had worked perfectly. The second his drones had detected Winter Soldier, he had started to damage the elevator cables. Here's good old Jack-o'-lantern. Looks like another Green Goblin copy. Jack-o'-lantern scanned the pile of rubble and steel through his strange flaming helmet. "What are we looking for?" a voice asked from above him. Jack-o'-lantern glanced up just as one of Winter Soldier's boots struck his pumpkin head. Winter Soldier had been hiding above him in the elevator shaft. The force knocked Jack-o'-lantern completely off his glider. The villain hit the ground with a thud. So here's when he got called up by somebody. And here's when he gets kicked by Bucky. "Time to surrender, Pumpkin Spice," Bucky said with a wry grin. Jack-o'-lantern reached for one of his pumpkin bombs dangling from his belt. He tossed it at Winter Soldier. Bucky swatted it away as if it was nothing more than a fly. The bomb exploded harmlessly against the nearby wall. Winter Soldier smiled wider. And just like that, Jack-o'-lantern wasn't laughing any longer. Suddenly, Bucky's comm unit broke the silence. "I'm almost there," said the voice of Captain America in his ear. "You missed the party," Winter Soldier said. "I nabbed Jack-o'-lantern here, but I think we still have a problem." "What's going on?" Cap asked. So here's Bucky deflecting that bomb, no problem. And then tying up the good old pumpkin face. "There's no sign of the force field projector," said Winter Soldier. "I'll look in the lab next," but just then Bucky heard a rustling of something like wings and shadows behind him. "It's worse than you think," a mysterious voice said. Winter Soldier tightened his fists. The night was finally getting interesting. To be continued. I was trying to figure out the character based on the shadow that they give us. They look like wings, but I don't think it's gonna be Vulture. So, and that's day 3. Oh no, sorry, day 4. I know, Chewie. I know, I got it wrong. So, hopefully, I won't forget tomorrow, day 5. Bye.